Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a simple question for y'all. What is Ubisoft doing? Honestly. But before I answer that question, if you enjoy listening to discussions about PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, then this channel is for you. Yes, you. I see you and I know you're watching. And I appreciate it, but it's for you. So why don't you consider subscribing? It helps grow the channel and help build the community that's being built that I want you to come and discuss on every video and talk about the topic at hand of what you think about that, because I love responding to the community that is commenting in my channel videos and all sorts of that. So now that I've got that out of the way, let's get back to the topic at hand. So 2 days ago, Ubisoft announced that they were canceling 3 games that had not even been announced yet, unknown titles. But they were quoted in saying, facing major challenges as the industry continues to shift towards mega brands and long-lasting titles that can reach players across the globe, across platforms and business models. Which, of course, that is something they could also adapt with, as they are holding some very popular titles in several different genre of games. I mean, they've got Rainbow Six, Splinter Cell, Assassin's Creed, Beyond Good and Evil, Prince of Persia. These are 5 titles that are popular with gamers that they're just not really done much with since, I mean, Rainbow Six Siege came out in 2016. The last Splinter Cell we had was in 2013. I mean, Prince of Persia, you know, there was an announced remake that got canceled, and I mean, they haven't made a Prince of Persia game in years. And I mean, Beyond Good and Evil 2 has one of, now I'm pretty sure it has the longest development time, beating Duke Nukem Forever. So, you know, it's just, I guess, it's Ubisoft being Ubisoft. But I mean, a good example of what they could really make popular, and they've already announced, is the Splinter Cell remake. I mean, we heard confirmation of this remake in 2021, but I mean, it would go on to lose its director the same year, which, I mean, is, you can recover from that, and that you could go on to make a great remake of the game, as, I mean, that's a popular trend to do now, we see. But Ubisoft has a history of malicious practices with their IP, specifically with Tom Clancy titles. And, I mean, that leaves fear with gamers that love Splinter Cell, as it, you know, ignited the love for stealth games in the early 2000s. And, I mean, it really just begs the question, I mean, what are they going to change about the game? As we know that they're doing a more modern interpretation of the story, which, I mean, we don't know what that means until it comes out, if it does. But, you know, just losing a game director is very troublesome because of the fact that they most likely clash with Ubisoft. I mean, when you're a game director, you were talking to the studio itself. And so I'm sure Ubisoft has their own directives they want put into that game, maybe like microtransactions, story beats, or just other promises they want to put into the game. But yet a game director, like a film director, has their own vision of what they want the game to be. And of course, you have clashes like that and the director leaves, but it just really begs the fear because of Ubisoft and their rough history in the past 10 or 12 years with their game releases. I mean, we look at Assassin's Creed, a game trilogy and even multiple game release that was beautiful and great, and now it's run into the ground of a open world RPG that really doesn't know what identity it wants to stick to, as they've abandoned what completely was made in the original Assassin's Creed games. But they have gone on to say that they will be making a more true to form Assassin's Creed game. But of course, with Ubisoft, what does that mean? You know, are they going to create the linear open world historical setting of the Assassin's Creed games, or are they going to half bake it by making we want the open world from our previous release titles that have just come out with the older titles? We just told you we were going to make one true to form because, I mean, we put a historical setting, here you go. I mean, you know, it's just like, what are they going to do? I mean, and one of the things that's really bad too with this whole cancellation thing that they did is that they've delayed Skull and Bones to early 2024. This game's been delayed 6 times. What is wrong with it? I mean, you don't delay a game 6 times when there's something wrong with it and it's not being fixed. I'm sorry, but you just don't do that. And so, I mean, it really begs the question, what is the game? Is there something wrong with it that developers just aren't fixing or are trying to, but it's not working? I mean, Ubisoft needs to take a page from EA currently and talk about your games. Talk about them. You look at the new Skate game. They have done developer releases. You look at Dragon Age, and they have also the transparency with their audience for that game of how they're making it. So, I mean, Ubisoft just needs to take a page out of their book. I mean, this was supposed to be their next release since the disastrous Rainbow Six Extraction, which was a microtransaction hellfest that literally was a reskin of Siege. There was nothing new to bring to the table. It was literally a reskin just to sell game skins and game skin characters. It's ridiculous. With this delay, they've of course had a quote that says, "The additional time has already paid off and brought impressive improvements to its quality, which has been confirmed by recent playtests, and players should be positively surprised by its evolution." So, in essence, that is a PR statement of, yes, we've delayed our game for the 6th time, but it's for good reason. Trust us. We're making a game that we don't know how to fix because there's problems, but we're going to delay it till 2024 because maybe we'll figure that out in a year. I mean, dear Lord, what are they doing, man? It's ridiculous. Like, Ubisoft is like one of the first studios I've ever seen cancel like 7 or 8 games in a rapid succession, and then delay probably one of their most hyped games for the 6th time. It's like, how many times you can delay it before people are just like, whatever, you know? I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, this really begs the question, are they worried about this ruining their already negative reputation and just making gamers go, Ubisoft's making another game, whatever, I guess? Like, are they going to become the laughingstock of gaming because they just can't make projects materialize? I mean, Splinter Cell Remake is kind of showing that issue right now. And I mean, of course, if the game comes out, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's just really sad because this company has great IPs attached to them, and they've destroyed them by alienating fan bases with predatory microtransactions, and they just botched those releases as well. I mean, Assassin's Creed Unity is literally one of the great examples of that. I mean, that game came out buggy and messy. I mean, there was the infamous image of the AI that didn't have a face, it just had eyeballs and teeth. Like, it's terrifying. I mean, and it seems in the article that Video Games Chronicled released is, I mean, Ubisoft is just canceling game projects to save money. As it's been reported, they want to save $200 million in cost cuts, which is crazy. As, I mean, they plan to release 3 Assassin's Creed games in 2023 and 2024, and a AAA Avatar game in 2024. And so it really begs the question, what are they canceling to conserve money for these experiences? I fear that the Splinter Cell Remake's one of them. We haven't heard anything about that game since November of 2022. And Ubisoft really I mean, they'll cancel anything. They canceled a popular Prince of Persia remake. And I mean, Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is a popular title that is very well hyped up, is still, it's in development hell. I mean, it's just like Ubisoft will do anything. So, I mean, the fear is, what are they doing with Splinter Cell? And are they even still making it? And of course, the CEO of Ubisoft has now put out an email saying that the delays that have happened have weighed on our costs and decreased our associated revenues, which of course it would. You're delaying a popular title to another year. I mean, you are not having anything but Assassin's Creed come out supposedly for 2023. What are you doing? And he goes on to say, today more than ever, I need your full energy commitment to ensure we get back on the path to success, he wrote. I am also asking that each of you be especially careful and strategic with your spending and initiatives to ensure we're being as efficient and lean as possible. So what this really sounds to me is like, I really worry, are they going to be doing a lot of crunch time to get these Assassin's Creed titles out in 2023 and 24, and of course this AAA Avatar game in 2024, because he says that they need to be strategic with their spending and initiatives. So he's wanting them to conserve energy, but the question is, are they going to take that as we need to be less creative and just make games that people are going to like instead of taking risk, which a lot of popular titles do take risk and end up falling into players' hands and they love it. It's kind of it's like, I understand like this is like to boost your morale, but it's really kind of nerve-wracking because he just like, it just sounds super like vague. Like, he wants their full energy commitment, and then he also wants them to be strategic with spending and initiatives, and they want to be efficient and lean, which is, I want to save money because we're broke. I mean, of course they're broke. I mean, they haven't made any games that are meaningful in a long time. I mean, Siege was the last popular game they created, and of course, I mean, Extraction was a literal cash cow, like I said earlier. I mean, it's just Ubisoft is in a rough spot. And I mean, currently it seems that they want to try to get out of it, but I can tell you the answer of it. It's to make a great game. If they put the heart and effort into their games that they used to, they will sell, because we need great games from them again. 2023 is looking like a promising year, and if they are promising great Assassin's Creed titles for 2023, that could bring them out of the brink. But, I mean, they own one of the best franchises, Tom Clancy. I mean, the games they can make that are great are expansive. I mean, if they could make an authentic Rainbow Six game again, it would kill. I mean, and if they faithfully retell the first Splinter Cell in an honorable and creative way, and utilize the tech like they did when the game first came out to make those innovative shadows and stealth techniques, then, I mean, they could become a company that we once knew. I mean, it just seems that they are trying to stay afloat by canceling titles, which won't work. It's a means to an end, and eventually they're not going to be able to cancel any more of them. And I mean, you're delaying others for bigger fish that I fear that they delayed Skull and Bones for Assassin's Creed, and that is not what you need to do. You need to release your game and then release Assassin's Creed. But I mean, it's, you know, they want to, it's their reputation. Reputation's a big deal in gaming. It's their reputation's bad, and I wonder if they want to release the Assassin's Creed games and the Avatar AAA experience before Skull and Bones, because that might raise their reputation to prepare for the dookie that might be that game. But I just want Ubisoft to be better, because we could maybe get Good and Evil, or Beyond Good and Evil 2, and maybe a decent Assassin's Creed game again. But, I mean, of course, we're going to have to see what they do in the future. So, thank you for watching the video. You have made it to the end, and you've made it. Why don't you subscribe? I mean, why don't you? And if you're not convinced yet, why don't you check my back catalog? I've got pretty great videos that detail a lot of other gaming news and information, and some gaming reviews, and I will have more of those down the line once we have Hogwarts Legacy and the Dead Space remake coming out here soon. And while you're here, go ahead and like the video, hit the notification bell so you're updated on when I upload next, and like always, guys, peace.